Jazz, I don't know about you, but do you feel like at this point in life we're meant to have it all together?
That is not us.
Absolutely not. I'm Anita,
And I'm Jazz.
and we absolutely don't have it together, but we're trying our best.
Anita and I have been venting to each other for over 30 years now, and we thought it was time. We brought it to the mic.
So welcome to Thriving-ish. Let's get started. Doll, how was your morning?
My morning, this morning,
Did you get shat on by anyone this morning?
no, I did not.
Oh, that's nice.
I did not get shat on. But my morning, let's go back to yesterday morning for me.
What'd you do?
I was coming home from work, from one work to the other, I was coming, and I got my car started beeping at me, warning signs flashing up.
Let's not share the brand name,
Big,
but all I'll say is I told you so.
All right,
I already
all
know
right.
what you're going to say.
Big red spanner coming up on the screen and, do not drive, contact your dealer, blah, blah, blah.
Contact your dealer.
I'm having a real issue.
It's a car, by the way. It's just a fancy car, a
contact
fancy shit car.
The car dealer. And yeah, anyway, so I call the car company and they say, look, you're going to have to call roadside assist. We can't really do anything about it. Call them. And they are like, yep, no worries. We'll remote in. We'll have a bit of a look.
Remote in.
No.
Wild.
And then honestly, this is so funny because also the night before I knew I had to get petrol, and this is a weekly occurrence for me, a weekly occurrence of knowing I need petrol and forgetting I need petrol simultaneously.
Yes.
So the guy's on the phone and he's logged in and he's like, oh, I've got a few error codes coming up here. And then he starts getting really confused and he goes, are you aware that you've literally got no fuel in your car? And I've got one of my trainers in the car with me at this point. So I'm like, yeah, I'm aware. I forgot to go to the petrol station this morning and blah, blah. He's like, yeah, it's below zero. Like it's not even got an amount of kilometres left. Like it is.
She's running on. I feel like that's not.
And he goes, is the car starting?
I was going to say, I feel like that's normal, by the way. So don't worry. Honestly, I'll validate you here.
Thank you. And anyway, so we get through that and then he goes, look, there's nothing we can do about it. It needs to be towed in. It needs to be towed into the dealer. So we're sending a tow truck. You're not going to be able to drive the car. And
do you reckon you've stuffed it because of the fact that you don't put petrol in it? Because we had the same brand of car and my husband always used to say to me, you have to make sure you put a good quality petrol in it and you don't let it run to empty. And if there was two things in life I never had to do again, it would be wash my hair and get petrol because they are time wasters. I could have already mentioned this in the very few episodes we've already recorded because I'm extremely passionate about that. But I would always run it to empty because I don't have time for that shit. And multiple repairs allegedly because of this issue. I also think the car shouldn't be shitting itself because you're running it to empty. If it's still going, it still works.
This is a touchy subject that you just brought that up because at work, I put a video of it on my Instagram of the car getting towed away and I was like, typical. My business partner walked straight in with this biggest smirk on his face and said, wouldn't be the way it's been looked after. Literally, first word. And I was like, well, no, the GYG crumbs in the console are not causing this issue, but thank you for pointing out that I don't look after my car. But no, look, I don't think so because I just think it's a crap car. Most of the issues I've had with it aren't to do with like the engine and the running. They're to do with like the fancy stuff. Yeah. I just think that they're crap and they suck. So I've got no car at the moment. So my beautiful friend has kindly lent me her mum van. So I am cruising around at the moment in the mum van. Yep. Yeah.
But so I obviously knew about the mum van because I seen you pull up this morning and we had this conversation in the car. But what makes the mum van situation even funnier is the fact that your friend is trying to sell the mum van and now they've incentivized it for Jazz.
Yeah, that's so good. My friend has let me drive this car and they've said they'll give me a commission if I sell it. So
they're sending people to Jasmine's house to look at and test drive this car. She's managing the whole sale process.
It's so good and I'm so determined to sell this car now. So Yeah.
I think
There
it's
you
like
go.
it's probably the
I think that's very
universe.
entrepreneurial of
Yeah,
me,
I
to be
reckon it's
honest.
the universe doing its thing. They're like, you need someone to actually, you have no time to sell your own car.
No,
Here's
okay,
this woman who can do it for you.
leading into today's episode, the universe obviously knows I've got no money. So that's why I've been incentivized.
Not only have they lent you a car, but it's been incentivized. You can make some cash off your broken down car. I mean, it's just going to go to
To
fixing
be
the
honest,
car.
I've just realised I don't actually know if that car has any petrol in it. I haven't looked at the petrol gauge, so I hope it does.
It's a mum
But
van, so probably not.
probably not.
They don't have enough petrol.
But leading into that is what we want to talk about today. For me, such a big thing, it's keeping me up at night at the moment, is buy a house or don't buy a house. I am so stuck between those two. And we spoke about this at lunch the other day, and I just want to revisit that conversation because I am so, one week I'm buying my dream home, and the next minute I'm
One
never
week
buying
there's
a
a
dream home
Barbie
because
dream house, and the next week
I
we're
can't
sharing the
afford one.
dog's kennel.
Yeah, like I'm literally probably living in the dog kennel.
Literally.
So like I need help, I guess. I don't know. Are there other people out there?
Well, I was going to say that's the thing. If you're just started listening to this and you think that we're going to talk about buying a house and you're like, that's not where I am, no need to listen. You absolutely should listen to this because Jazzy is probably you. And the advice I've given Jazz was probably not what she expected.
Yeah.
And I think that we definitely should revisit
I'm in
that
the
because
need to buy a house, can't afford to buy a house. Have
do I
no
have
idea
to? Do you have to? That's the other thing. Do you have
Yes.
to? No, you
Everyone's
don't.
like, stop paying someone else's rent. But like, I'm a
Yeah.
people pleaser. Like,
No,
I'm happy for that
our
landlord.
parents will say to us, stop. And then you start. So I've got friends who say it. They've moved, out of Brisbane to buy somewhere more affordable. And they're like, why do you pay someone else's mortgage? And it's like, let's expand our thoughts. Let's step out of the box and actually think about this because you don't just have to grind your ass your whole flippin' life just to pay a mortgage on a house that society tells you need to own. That actually pisses me off so much. Sorry, I am distracted by this tan. You are glowing.
Bella Bronze, babe.
Honestly, thank God, because we've all seen your orange era.
We don't speak about her anymore.
So what did you do?
They've opened a new salon in Gordon Park and I'm converted. The colour actually looks so natural and I always get compliments.
Dangerous information because now I want in.
Already handled, babe. I booked you into the Morningside salon Friday.
Perfect. We love efficient friends.
They've also got all the tan products online too, including the Face Tan Mist and the Gradual Tanner.
Head to bellabronzetan.com.au and use code THRIVE10 and you can try it for yourself.
My other dilemma is just while we're throwing out the dilemmas for topics
let's
today.
go. You've always got one. Love it.
Is that I want to live in a brand new house. I can't not live in a brand new house. I've tried.
She's got a standard.
I do, and I shouldn't have, but I do, and
That's
tried.
okay.
We moved.
I feel like that's okay.
We actually moved into an older home that had more of a backyard, like more space, like that sort of thing to get a vibe for, this is the sort of house we would probably buy. So how does that go? We broke the lease 6 months in. I came home.
She was miserable. I think I only went there one time.
Mate, I came home to Mikey
You
and
thought your dogs were going to die every day?
literally,
Cane toads?
I came home and I said to Mikey, I've emailed the real estate, we're breaking the lease. Here are the properties I found.
Yep.
And I'm going to the open homes next week. Yep. There's no discussion about this.
See, this is the other thing that we need to talk about as well because you go, like, your home is your safe place.
Yes.
It's where you go home at night. It's where you wake up in the morning. It's where you want to feel the most comfortable, safe at home. You've probably got kids there as well.
Yeah.
It's important to feel good in that space. And so many people think you have to, especially in this market, if you're trying to buy in this market or even 10 years ago, that you've got to give something up to get what you want. And you don't have to. There are other ways to get there, or there are other ways to invest your money. Before we start though, I just want to say I do have experience in the property industry. That's my background. I'm not a financial person. Don't take cold hard advice from me. I am going to tell you to talk to the professionals. That is part of the advice that I gave Jazzy as well. But the biggest thing that irks me for people our age and younger, or just anyone trying to break into the property market, is just assuming that the first home you have to buy is the home you're going to live in, or that you have to buy a certain type of home, or that renting is a waste of money. There are other things we can do with our money, and that's something that we've been talking about a lot. But let's break it down. The biggest thing for you is, you want to live somewhere where you feel comfortable, which is absolutely reasonable. buying a home costs a fucking shitload of money these days. So even two people with two solid incomes, it's not necessarily viable to have a deposit there to give you the ability to go and buy that home. Your parents probably don't want to go on as a guarantor on a mortgage for $1.5+ million either.
Certainly not mine.
No. God love them.
Been there, done that.
But I think their biggest thing is understanding what you can do with your money. So like my first piece of advice to anyone who has ever thought to themselves, I might want to buy a home one day, is to go and find an exceptional mortgage broker. And don't just go down to Tom, Dick and Harry at your local Westfield. Actually have a think about your own circumstances and have a think about what buying a home might look like for you, and go and search, look for recommendations, find someone who might be able to, who's had a great experience, go on community pages.
Let's find a mortgage broker. We
will absolutely find one. Yeah. Or a property advisor, someone who can give you the right advice for your individual situation. And if you need to, go through and interview these people until you find the right one. That's the other thing you need to remember. Like any professional, you can't just assume that the first person you walk in and meet with is going to have your best interests at heart and be exceptional at their job, and they're going to give you exactly what you need. We don't always find our GP straight away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not always that straightforward. So if you're not comfortable with the person you're talking about, or you feel like you need a second opinion, because realistically this is probably going to be the most expensive purchase of your life, then go and get a second opinion before you commit to anything. The other piece of advice I would have, which I know you already agree with, is don't just walk into your bank and think that they're the broker and they can tell you what to do.
Yes.
The big banks, for
the worst.
For the little guys, for us, the little guys, they're probably going to be, respectfully, the least helpful.
Yeah, let's not name names, but I have worked for one of those big banks.
Yeah.
And I can tell you now they are the most expensive.
They absolutely
are the most expensive. And they do not have your best interests at heart.
No, and like they've got that much money, they don't care if you can't get your loan. Whereas there are mortgage brokers out there, there are small business owners who can fight for you, who have different connections.
Are mortgage brokers expensive though? Like, do I need to pay this person? Like, if I'm going to go tomorrow and find this person and say, hey, I'm just looking for some advice, like, is that going to cost me thousands of dollars?
Well, I think it's like anything. There's like an interview process, right? If someone walks into your gym, you're going to talk them through it and you're going to give them the time of day and you're not going to charge them for it.
Yeah.
So like anything, there's going to be a fee associated with it at some point.
Yeah.
But more often than not, you should be able to have a conversation with someone, but just ask them at the start. That's the other thing. Don't be scared to ask someone, oh, how much do you cost? How much is your service?
Yeah.
Just because you're asking that doesn't mean that you can't afford it.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're getting yourself into, or if you're not familiar with the process, then ask all the questions so you can get all the answers.
Yeah.
That is the biggest number one tip. The other thing I think people need to think about and remember, which is where we've sort of gone down that conversation, was renting the home that you love can be okay if you're then looking at maybe investing your money somewhere else. So you might have enough money to buy a property, but it's not your dream property. It's not a property in the area that you live in. So you're spending the cash on holidays because you think you can't buy a house, or you stop saving because you think you can't buy a house. There's all these little prompts that just stop you from achieving your goal because you just assume that it's too hard.
Yeah.
But again, you can go and talk to that professional and find someone who is more, find someone who is experienced in the investment side of things, as opposed to just, first home buyers or whatever it might be, and talk to them about investment strategies. Maybe you could buy an investment property and you never know. There could be enough equity in that investment property in a few years or in 5 years or in 10 years that you could buy your dream home, or you could buy another investment property.
But I guess then the question is, like, if I'm going to buy a property, like, am I wasting money then renting? Like, should I be living in that property? Like, why? Like, what is the benefit to me not living in that property, I guess?
And I think this is where you really need to hone in on your investment strategies. And again, I'm not the one to give anyone individual advice. But the way, for me, this is what I've looked at, this is what I think you need to look at too, is obviously we look at our cities and we know our cities are booming. We know that it's near impossible to buy a property in these areas now. We know how difficult it is. But there are other areas again, we can talk to the professionals about that. They know the answers. Where there are areas, maybe more regional areas, where property hasn't boomed yet, where it's there's a growing demand for renters and there's low stock. There's not a lot of landlords out there. Maybe they're regional areas that have predominantly been owner-occupied in the past, and now investors are moving in there. It's like, you know how when we moved to Brisbane, yeah, people aren't going to necessarily relate to exact suburb names, are they? But say when we moved to Brisbane, there were suburbs 10 kilometres from the CBD that we could all afford to buy in. Now those suburbs, unless you're prepared to pay $2 million for a family home, you can't afford to move in. So we move to the next, we go 5Ks out, and then that suburb becomes too expensive for us to buy, and we move 5Ks out. We just keep moving out.
Yeah.
It's this, the same goes for that as well. You get to a regional area. The town that we grew up in is a small town, and it's really close to Sydney and really close to Canberra. Still a couple hour drive, but it's close to. That area has boomed now because people have realised they can buy this amazing dream home in this town, still be close enough to commute to work in Canberra, but they can live on this property with all this space in this dream home instead of a townhouse in Canberra.
Yeah.
That's too expensive for them to service.
Yeah.
So I think talking to someone about an actual strategy, just as opposed to you going and sitting down with someone and saying, hey, I want to buy a house. It's like, okay, more the conversation might be along the lines of, I have the ability to, or I have saved X amount of money. This is what the dream looks like for me. But I also really love renting this type of home. So I know that I probably can't afford to buy it. What are my options? Let them sit it down and explain it all to you. So yeah, I just think if the thought of buying a home has ever crossed your mind, you absolutely need to go and have a conversation with someone, because it's honestly easier than you think it is. And usually you're ready before you think you are.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know about you, but you just drum up that it's going to be so hard and so challenging and
it's
such a process.
I think the thing for us too is it's such a big amount of money as well.
100%.
And it's such a hard, like, you know, I'm someone who puts things in the too hard basket often.
Same.
So it's like, I think, okay, there's a lot of money involved, and then the whole process, and then it's like, where do you buy? You know, like, I want a pool and I want my house to be brand new, and I want ducted aircon that's zoned in every room, and I want all these things, but I'm not a millionaire.
Yeah.
So like, how do I get there? And like, yeah, I feel like, do we just have to know that, yes, it can happen, but in 3 years' time? But we need to start that
And be
process
okay.
now,
Exactly,
right? Because
yeah.
in 3 years' time, like, I'm just sitting on my hands going, eventually I'll do it, and eventually I'll be able to do it.
Exactly.
But like, what am I doing about it?
And
I'm
see,
doing
that's
nothing
the thing
about
as well.
it.
If you're like, oh no, I'm not ready to buy yet, but maybe in 3 years I will, then go and have that conversation now. So you can sit down with someone and they can say, okay, if this is your dream, here's the steps for you to get there in 3 years. It's going to be much easier if you start planning that now, as opposed to you waiting 6 months beforehand. And they're like, oh, actually, you need to, you know, pay off all this credit card debt and cancel all those cards and clear your credit rating for 6 months or 12 months or whatever it is before you can do anything. There's all these little things that you don't really think about that are super easy.
Yeah.
Or some things that might need more time that you haven't accounted for, that if you're just a little bit more prepared, or just have the knowledge so you can feel confident when it's time to make the decision. Yeah, I spoke to someone 5 years ago and I wasn't ready within that time frame.
Yeah.
But now I'm almost ready. And now I know what to do because I went and learnt about it the first time.
Yeah.
The other thing as well, there's some really good mortgage brokers now that actually they offer seminars. They're free seminars where you can go in and sit down with them maybe one evening after work, and it's like a group setting. And they run through how to buy an investment property, how to buy a home, what you can do, how to save money. They talk to you about all that stuff, and they're free seminars. Obviously, that's an amazing networking thing for them.
Yeah.
They hope to get business from it. But they're really great opportunities for you still to, at a minimum, just to learn something. I think that they're great ideas.
I think too, like, the scary thing for us, like, you know, we're renting obviously, and we're happy there. We love that. I've obviously always prioritized business over home ownership. And that's what I've always poured my money into, I guess. But there is that scary, like, you know, our rent just keeps going up, right? And of course our rent keeps going up because, you know, everything's going up. But at what point do we sort of go, we're paying $1,000 a week here? Like, we could have a pretty good mortgage for that, right? Like, we're paying $1,000 a week in rent. Why?
Yeah.
Like,
and see, that's the thing. It depends where you live, but there are parts of we're in Brisbane, and in Brisbane in particular, it's not necessarily more affordable to own a home anymore because the interest rates are changing so much anyway.
Yeah.
If
And that
you
thought scares me too, because I know I do have friends who are putting, like, they're struggling to make their home repayments, and
because it goes
they're,
up so much.
yeah, and,
Yeah.
and their interest rates keep changing, and then they're paying interest only, and, they're having all these dramas, and then their rates bill comes, and, there's all these added, like, extras. And I just think, I know that my rent, at least I know my rent's going to go up, but it's not
But you
going
know
up
that
until June next year.
yeah,
Do
exactly.
you know what
You've
I
locked
mean?
in a contract.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. I think there's so many stigmas around renting, but there are actually a lot of positives as well.
Yeah. Do you know how many people say to me, like, I reckon at least twice a week, if somehow that comes up in conversation,
Yeah.
I would say, oh, yeah, like we rent. Oh, like they're shocked. And they're like, are you renting? And it's
vomit. That
it's literally,
pisses me
I get it
off.
all the time. It's like, are you renting? Oh, so you don't own that townhouse?
Oh my God. Like,
No, I don't own my townhouse. Like, I'm renting it. And honestly, it would be twice a week that somebody says that to me, and they're just like, oh, like,
that truly pisses me
interesting.
off.
Yeah.
Because again, like, I feel as though, and this is like one of the things that we talk about that frustrates us, because you and I live a very, like, we don't follow the rules.
Yeah.
There's no like white picket fence. There's no,
Two kids and a dog.
Yeah.
I mean.
Like, yeah. I mean, I do have the fluffy dog and the two children.
Yeah.
But we grew up made to believe that we have to do X, Y, and Z in this exact fucking order and
Yes.
achieve all these things. And it really pisses me off that one of those things is spend all your money servicing your mortgage to buy a house to fucking impress someone else.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but who
Or to get
wants to
ahead in
deal with a
life.
2-story house? I fucking don't.
Yeah.
I hate vacuuming stairs. That shit pisses me off.
Yeah.
But it's all what? For what? Sure, it might make you happy, but how happy does it make you slogging away your whole life paying your mortgage on this one thing? All your money's tied up in one asset now. You can't afford to go and buy another one because you have to service this one you have.
Yeah.
You might have 3 children, and that's great. Your children have this wonderful childhood in this house that they're probably not going to give a fuck about when they. I grew up in the shittiest house ever, and I'll tell you what, I didn't give a fuck. I loved it. We had a massive backyard because our house was little,
over at that house,
and we loved it
every single week. And I feel like
your parents went and got a pool after you moved out.
I literally never had a second thought.
Exactly.
No, we still had the pool when I moved in.
When you lived there?
Yeah, we had the pool. Yeah. It was late in the teenage years. Yeah.
I was going to say must have been when I'd left.
Yeah, it was later in the teenage years. I still lived at home. But I don't have a second thought about the house you grew up in, or even my friends. Like, if I go to my friend's house, like, I don't have like like they've got this, or like, if you said to me, like, what color are the tiles in my house? I'd be like,
idea.
actually, I don't know.
Give a shit.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I actually don't know. What color are the walls?
Yeah.
I don't know. Are they white? Like, I don't know. Like, I actually don't know. So it's like,
no one cares.
Yeah, I don't think anyone
except
actually
for the
really
assholes
cares.
who asked us at the gym if she had a house or not.
Except everyone going, are you renting?
In response to that as well, not that you should ever have to justify a response, but you could, like, just imagine, you could say, no, but I'm living in my dream house that I'm paying rent for, and I own 2 or 3 investment properties because I was not a dickhead and I went and got some really good advice. I'm getting way too passionate.
Yeah.
But you go and you speak to someone and get the advice, and you can make a decision. You could set up your future because you've made a different decision. You don't have to follow the rules.
Do you wish that we just had like a crystal ball back in the day? Honestly, like, think about our parents, right? Because back to what you were saying, like, oh, we were brought up to, like, you need to, everyone back then, they got married in their early 20s.
And
they had kids.
They bought a house for $40,000.
Literally, they're buying houses for $40,000 and $50,000. It is insane.
And when they're like, but incomes weren't as much. And I don't know what the stat is on this.
Doesn't matter.
But when you look at the ratio, even back then, it's so much different now. Yeah. To what
the percentages would be ridiculous.
Yeah,
like, yes, income was very different. $50,000 wasn't $50,000 like today, but it was so affordable. Everyone did it. Everyone did it.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
And I feel like no one, I don't know whether they did or not, but no one spoke to me about this. I feel like from age 15 to 30, maybe 25, but like no one said, hey, you need to be like, everyone always used to bang on about save money, save money, save money. But like, for what? Like, everyone was always like, save for your future, save money, be smarter with your money, be better with your money.
Didn't know either.
But do you know what I mean? It's like, no one sat me down and went, if you save X dollars and you do this, 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 if you go and buy this house, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like in school, like, we were learning how to cook a pizza rounder and sew a
We were learning
kid
how
stress.
to put
Do you know what I
condoms
mean?
on a
Like,
fucking banana.
literally.
Honestly, bring a mortgage broker in. I wish when I was like 20 years old, my parents grabbed me by the cuff of my
Scruff of the neck.
scruff of the neck,
Yeah.
and they dragged me into a mortgage broker and sat me
Yeah.
down and said, "Hey, talk to this person just so you can understand what this looks like and how to do it."
Yes.
So when you're ready to do it, sure, it might look different in 15 years or whenever it is that you do it.
Yeah.
Or the other thing is you could sit down and be like, oh, holy shit, I could do this in 2
Do you think they
years.
just didn't have this info though? Because I reckon their parents would have just been like, be smart, save money, get a good
Yeah,
job. They would
well,
have had the
our
most
parents-
basic advice given to them. They're just then passing that on to us.
Yeah.
Like, I think that we forget how lucky we are that how far things have evolved. Like, we can say like we didn't have this advice when we were at school or when we were young, but like, was it around? Did anyone have that advice?
No, that's
Did
the
they
thing.
have it? Probably not.
No, they definitely didn't. But
No.
our parents are boomers, so they
Do you
were
reckon?
they were
Because
brought up
you know
to be like,
what?
mum stays at home, dad goes to
This
work, we
makes
buy a house,
so
and that's the
yeah.
end.
This makes so much sense because that's why we were learning cooking and sewing, right?
Yes.
So we
That's
could
why
be,
there were not really
yeah.
any guys in those
And
classes
what was
either.
the one? There was that class where you had to take the baby home. Did you have that? You had to take
Oh
the
my
baby
God,
home
did
overnight.
you actually do that?
No, like a real baby, like a
No,
doll.
we never did that.
It was like a doll, but it like cried.
yeah, I know what you
Like
mean.
it was
I've
like
seen
a
those.
lively doll, and it
Did you
cried and
actually
it
do
weed
that?
and it pooed and it did things. You had to take it home for a night, and it would cry all through the night. And it was like, here's what it's like to be a mum.
And you just would have
That's
put
a
like
subject
wrapped
at
it in a
school.
doona and shoved it under the
And
bed.
now I don't want kids. No,
Yeah, it worked for you.
but literally turned me off.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the other thing. We're old. We actually have no idea what kids are learning in schools these days. And I
Nah.
hope that is something that they're learning. But
I was about to say, can we get a mum on to give us some insight?
I've got no. Well,
What's
my
your
daughter,
kid learning at school?
I mean, more than I ever did.
Yeah, right.
But no, they're certainly not learning about finance and buying properties. in
Yeah, like
year
these are the things,
3.
Taxes.
Oh,
I still don't know how to do my tax. I couldn't do my tax to save myself. My
No.
accountant needs to sit down with me and go step by step. She'll go as far as sending me the detailed email with everything she needs from me. And I'm
Yeah.
like, it's too hard. It's too much.
It is too
I need her
much.
in the room. Sit with me. Here's my
Yeah.
laptop. What do I, piece
100
by
yeah,
piece?
I
Like,
get
it's
it.
so bad. And I just think we should have learned that. There should have been like directions at school. Like, do you want to be like the traditional wife, stay-at-home mum? Or do you
But
want to
would
be
we
like
have gone to those
a
classes, do you reckon?
baller
'Cause I feel
career
like
person?
I think the sewing and the cooking was optional and we still did it.
Mate, I know. But like no one said to me, like, do you know how rich you could be if you could be a lawyer? No one said to me, if you want to be a brain surgeon, you're going to be rolling in the cash. No one ever said that.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I came out of school and I was a beauty therapist. Nobody said to me, like, why don't you be a lawyer? Why don't you be a doctor? Why don't you be a
Speaking of,
property developer? You know, something.
do you ever have that feeling? I don't know if you do. I don't know if this is just a me thing of like how you realize that you're getting old. Like, you know, in your 20s, you realize that like, you know, you think you're getting old in your 20s. But
Every
I
time
feel like
I have a conversation with you and I say mid-30s, you look at me with raised eyebrows. Like I'm not mid-30s.
no, we definitely are. I'm like, say early 30s, I'll go with
Mid
it.
to late.
But I feel as though I'm at this age where all of a sudden, like, it's official.
You're old.
I'm old. The feeling that
What are the
the
realizations?
feeling that I'm still
Mine,
18 is no longer there.
literally
Maybe
in-
it's I still feel 25 or
in
20,
our
maybe
last
28.
episode when I spoke about wanting to go skydiving. Was it no, the trekking? It was when I spoke about
Oh.
wanting to go trekking and you straight away were like, oh, darl, your dodgy knees. It's such
Yes,
a boomer
But
comment.
that's one of the things.
That's such a boomer thing to say. They are though, they're cooked. And that does make me feel old most days. My one of the trainers at work often says to me, like, he gives me things to help me with my knees that he's only ever given to people like over 50. Like
What?
literally. Like
Why?
because they're just ruined. I don't know why.
Have you had
They're
them both
really
done or just
old.
one?
Just one, but they're both cooked. But you know what? I always think about this, like when you start to get that, like how you know you're getting old,
Yeah.
like scenario.
Yes.
And it's like, to be honest, I don't have a lot of those moments. Like I'll have a couple here and there, but you know who has them is my husband.
How old is Mike?
He's 40
Are we
this
allowed
year.
to-
He's 40
No.
this year.
Are we allowed to
So his birthday's in
broadcast
November.
his birthday?
Yeah, so his birthday's in November and his mum's birthday is, this is so bad, but I can't remember both the dates. I can't remember
What do
either
you
of them
mean?
right now.
So is his
They're
birthday
in,
November
they're both
or
in
not?
early November. Okay, they're from like the 1st to the, I don't know, 5th or something like that. Mikey's is the 2nd and I think his mum's is like the 4th or the 5th. I think.
Okay.
So they want to go on like this big trip and like, you know, do all this stuff for like a joint. So Mikey's mum is 70 and he is 40, like a few days apart. So
Oh.
that's really cool. But what he does is we call him the speed police. So we live in like a bit of a complex, like it's like townhouses, like gated sort of situation. So it's got a 10-kilometre-an-hour speed limit. And you know when you're in a car park or you're in like the gated complex
Yes.
and you see a 10-kilometre-an-hour speed limit and you just think, this, like, I've got to go slow. Like, I'm just going to go slow. But slow is like 20, 30.
Yeah,
Like,
no
no
one's
one
going 10
does
Ks.
10. 10 is a dead
If
set
we're in a manual,
walking
we'd be
pace.
stalling.
Mate, you would be. Like, 10 is a walking pace.
Yeah.
My husband is outside walking the dogs every day. And here's this person in the complex, people driving in. The hand.
No, not
It's
actually
the
the
hand
hands.
gesture.
Oh, I
The
thought you were just
slow
going to say he makes
down.
a comment to
Nah,
you. No,
it's the
he
slow
doesn't.
down. And
That's
honestly,
wild.
the amount of conflict, like we're going to have to buy a house because
You're going to have to move out.
have to move. Like we do not get along with one side of our neighbours because of this conflict. Like our neighbour's a bit of a hothead. So is my husband sometimes. So he did
thought
the
you meant
whole,
revhead.
he did the slow down. No, just temper. Like he did the slow down. This guy lost it.
And then what
Lost it.
Mikey do back? Do we have it on
Literally
video?
lost it. So it just turned into this huge domestic. The wife was sending me messages about it. Like it turned into this
Stop giving your number to everyone.
domestic. Literally, no, do you know what I did? That's so funny. When we moved into our little townhouse, I was so nervous because we've got dogs that are a little bit annoying sometimes when they're in a new environment, whatever.
So
they
you
bark
put like
a lot.
little thing in their
I
letterbox.
put notes in everyone's letterbox and
And
I
now
was like,
you're
hi
regretting
guys,
it.
like I'm Jazz, here's my phone number. These are our dogs, these are our names, blah, blah, blah. Every single person messaged me and was like, hey Jazz, thanks for the message. My name's such and such.
Oh, did you save
It
all the
was
numbers?
so cool. See, this is me making friends. I'll be great for the networking event. This is how you make friends. Put your number in their
Give
mailbox.
your number to strangers and hope for the best.
Yeah, put your number in your neighbour's mailbox. So yeah, I did that, and I know all my neighbours now, and we're all friendly.
You know how they all hate your husband.
Except for one.
That's crazy that he does that.
He does that. That's an old man
on
trait.
my like list of things I know I'm getting old is, and I mean it's more. I think everyone's doing it at the moment because of the state of the world, but paying attention to the cost of petrol. I've never done that before, ever.
Yep.
Obviously, at the moment, like I said, the world's a bit crazy. Everything's a bit expenny. But I will literally I'll be driving my daughter to school on a Monday and I'll check it. I'll be like, oh, not today. Let's wait.
No, not today. Oh, I can't afford to do the not today because I'm on zero.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the other thing I was going to say. Wait, do we even talk about that in this episode or was that the last one?
What were we talking about?
You running out of petrol.
No, we haven't spoken about me running out of petrol.
You have. You just said when your car got towed.
No, but it didn't run out of petrol. It would still.
No, but was that in this episode? Yes, it was. It was at the start.
Nah, it was. It was at the start of this episode. Yep.
I have run out of petrol twice because it wasn't my fault. It's because my car doesn't tell me well enough that I'm out of petrol.
How long does it tell you, babe? Because mine's like 100
beep.
Ks.
It doesn't make noises. It has this tiny little empty thing that comes up on the dash, so you don't notice it.
So like every other car in Australia?
No, but they ding and stuff and they flash. This one's not noticeable. Ran out of petrol twice, both times crossed the road from a servo. So I've had to, like the car starts going like dung, 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 dung. So bad.
That's funny.
I have to pull over to the side, run to the petrol station, grab a jerry can from the petrol station, just so you know, FYI people, all petrol stations sell jerry cans, little ones, top it up, take it back, I'm pouring petrol in the car, both times major busy roads.
Yep.
People are beeping at me, love that for me, and then I've got to turn the car on and drive to the servo and fill it up.
Yeah. The literal same thing happened to me. I ran out of petrol coming out of our driveway. So we live on a main road. You know where my house is. It is the busiest road and we live at the traffic light crux of it, right? Like the massive intersection part of it. So I was rolling out the driveway, go to put my foot down, bump, 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 bump.
At least it happened there.
Mikey is the biggest stress head, right? He just starts going, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Oh, was he in the car?
Losing his mind, losing it. I'm stopped.
I was by myself.
Why you stopped? Put your foot down. Turn the car on. Like he's absolutely chaotic. I'm just sitting there like,
You'll be right, mate.
Bro,
We've just run out of
we've
petrol.
just run out of petrol. It's all
Hasn't this
good.
happened to you before?
He literally is fuming. I'm like, get out of the car and push it off the road then. Like, anyway, so we're in the middle of the road, the busy
not
2 lanes, middle of the road.
How come you didn't park the car, Dal?
I couldn't because I was like going out the road, facing like to go in the far lane,
right,
like so
chucking a right.
going across the traffic. So anyway, I'm like, we got to push the car. The car's obviously so new, like old. The cars aren't like they were. They don't have the manual handbrake, right? They don't have a neutral. Like my car doesn't have like a neutral. It has park and it has drive.
Yeah, right.
So like,
neutral, but anyway.
no, it doesn't. So when you turn it on and take your foot off the brake, like it just stops. It does like it just doesn't. It locks
it's
up.
Just a really
it's got like an
car.
auto handbrake thing. It's just like it doesn't work right. So Mikey's trying to push the car. It's not working. He's yelling at me. Cars are beeping.
God,
It was the most chaotic time you've ever seen. Anyway, he's yelling at me for, I reckon, I don't know, 2 days. He's like, what sort of grown adult runs out of petrol in their car? Like,
just
what sort of grown adult does
validate
this?
your feelings.
Me. And you. I reckon there's more. I reckon if you're listening to this and you've ever ran out of petrol, good for you.
Good for you.
Keep going.
You're not a time waster, and I respect that.
Honestly, I reckon when it goes from you've got 50 Ks left and then all of a sudden it hits 0, I reckon I've driven another 100 Ks on that.
Look,
I've got a theory. I'm like, no, you got another 100 K.
My strategy, though, is once you get to like, I don't know, probably 30, you have to hit the button that turns off the stop-start. And I know this from experience because the second time I ran out of petrol, I was by myself on the way to school pickup, and I thought I'd done it, but the car stopped at the traffic lights. And so
Before
it went
school pickup?
Yeah, it's on the way to school pickup. But it's like a line I've got to go in, so it's okay. And it went to kick back in and it just didn't. It started conking. So I was like, I'll pull over. This man in a tow truck pulled up behind me, obviously looking for a job, but told him what had happened. He was so lovely. He's like, I'm going to wait here so people don't bloody sideswipe you. So you can run across the road to the servo. And I'm like, I was on my way to the servo. I swear I was. Anyway,
you just said you're on the way to school pickup.
Yeah, but the servo was on the way.
Yeah, okay.
But the one I wanted to go to was about 300 metres away. Then there was one, 20 metres across the road. So anyway, I went across the road, got the jerry can filled up, made it to school pickup on time. No one knew any better. And now we've got 2 jerry cans in the garage just in case.
Yeah, love that. We were on the way to the footy. So we weren't allowed to sort the car.
That's why he was pissed.
So we had to put the car on the side of the road and then we had to get in Mikey's car and go to the footy and then go to the servo at like 10 p.m. and sort the car out late. Okay. Yeah.
Different situation.
Yeah. Fun times.
Anyway.
We digress.
We're getting old. We can cover off
what happens when you get old. The word, when I was talking about Mikey before with his telling everyone to slow down as he's like old man trait, the word hooning. Like he comes in, this guy was hooning
down the road, told him, waved him down.
And these people are not hooning. Let me just say that.
11 kilometers.
They're not hooning. They're going 15K instead of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jazz. I reckon we have to call it. I think
we'll call it. We've done well. All right. Thanks for coming.